Hey YouTube, it's Brad, and I'm back with the second episode of our Ritual Beast Guide. And this is going to be covering some cards that aren't necessarily for Ritual Beasts, but work very well with Ritual Beasts. So the first card I'm going to cover here is Thunder King Ryo. It's a great card right now. Lots of decks like to search, and this deck can get around it, mainly because the quote-unquote searcher of the deck, which is Kanahawk, doesn't actually add directly from your deck to your hand. It banishes it for 2 turns first, then adds it to your hand, much like Gold Sarcophagus, which is the next card I'm going to talk about. Gold Sarcophagus can be used in multiple ways. Not only can it add a card to your hand when you're going to need it later, it can also just banish a card for you to take use of that card then, instead of just having to wait for it to come to your hand. You can bring it back with some of the ritual fusions, such like Ulti Apelio, and you can also use it with some of the tamers, like Wen, to bring it back from the Vanish Zone. So first 2 cards really strong and work fairly well together, actually. I should mention one more thing with Thunder King Ryo. The deck is kind of like a trap deck on top of being a combo deck. So the trap lineup is pretty large, larger than most, and it can protect Thunder King pretty well. Next card we're covering is Macro and Di-Fi. These like their cards to be banished, and these cards hurt pretty much every deck out there right now. Very, very strong cards right now. And yeah, that's just about all I have to say about them, really. So the next thing I'm going to go into is that this deck loves traps. So I'll get into the traps first. There's some obvious ones like Solemn Warning, stops your opponents for the turn, and then you can keep your monsters alive. This is really good at keeping Kanahawk alive and just keep plussing off of its searching. Then you can go ahead and use Fiendish Chain. I feel it's better than Breakthrough Skill in this deck, even though they can MST it and chain to it and still have their effect resolve. But it also prevents them from attacking over Kanahawk, which is only 14 on attack and fairly easy to run over.
So if they MST'd their Fiendish.
Yeah, also you want them to use their MST because then they're going to get hurt extremely by Macro and Di-Fi if they don't have the MST for it. Another good card, Vanity's Emptiness. This deck has an extremely dirty Vanity's Emptiness, just because if you can get out their Ulta Gaia Pelio and Vanities, and you can get a few Ritual Beasts in your hand, it's pretty much game over for them. That brings us into our next thing. We have Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So, Ghost Ogre, where'd it go? I honestly don't see where I went. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. It's a Psychic Tuner and level 3. Light, so pretty much everything about it. For those of you that don't know what it does, it's similar to Veiler. It's a hand trap that you can discard it from your hand to when a card or monster on the field activates this effect that was already on the field. So like when a continuous trap activates this effect that wasn't on activation, or the effect of Scout is another one. You can go ahead and discard this card from your hand and destroy that card. It doesn't negate the effect. Yes, if it destroys a continuous spell or trap, the effect will not resolve. And one of the main reasons why it runs this is emergency teleport is a thing, and that can bring out any of your tamers. But I'm going to go into why I don't think I like that card that much right now. One of the obvious advantages of it is you can run hand traps like Ghost Ogre, and then also make Black Rose when you need to with Ghost Ogre because it's a tuner. But one of the main disadvantages I'm going to say is it special summons the tamers, so that uses up its one special summon that turn. So it's not good at making the combos, not good at letting you go plus off the fusions, and it's really situationally good, but it's not the best card always. So that's just one reason why I don't run it, actually, and I'll probably drop some more reasons why I don't later on, but these are spells that have synergy, and first of all, Upstart Goblin, really good. You want to run it at 3. It's a lot better than Pot of Duality in this deck because you do like to special summon so much, but you also need to run some of this because you need your consistency increased as much as possible, because it is a combo deck. You do need to get to a Tamer and a Ritual Beast. Excuse me. So Upstart Goblin is a very strong card in the deck. Next card that's really good, Dark Hole. So you can stop this from destroying you by first making your monsters into Petal Fin, then Dark Holing your opponent, and then you can go ahead and return these to the extra deck and then continue on with your play. Yeah, it turns into pretty much running 3 Regeki. Book of Moon, it's not a trap, but it also keeps your monsters alive for the turn. It's also a really versatile card, so I think it's one of the best. I just love it. Now I'm going to go into some of the extra deck cards that you need. The most important one I'm going to say first is Lightning Chidori. It is made by a rank 4, 2 level 4 wind monsters. So this deck can make it really easily. On summon, targets a set card your opponent controls, puts it on the bottom, and then once per turn it can detach one to target a face-up card your opponent controls, and return that to the top of the deck. So it's great at making your opponent have a dead draw next turn. Also great removal. Just a great card in general for the deck. And I unfortunately don't have one here with me. But another one we're going to, Abyss Dweller. It's sometimes a better choice than making one of your fusions, but because of his effect, which stops your opponent's graveyard effect, so it's situationally good against other decks. Another one, Exciton. Exciton is really good again because you can put 2 cards into one and make that into a Petal Fin, so it reduces your count technically. Then try to destroy all. He doesn't get destroyed. Then you can go ahead and return this, bring out 2 more monsters, and you're now plus on your opponent big time. Exciton is amazing in the deck, and that's another reason why some people like the Ghost Ogre with the Black Rose combo. Another one is kind of a more stunning one like Abyss Dweller, Steel Swarm Roach. You can detach one when a level 5 or higher monster would be special summoned, and then negate the summon if you do destroy it. So, great card at stopping some decks, Cliff in specific. I'm not sure how that works though. Still,
so here's the reasoning.
No, I know it can negate one, but can negate multiple.
It can, and here's my reasoning. So there's no actual official ruling, but Blackhorn can. And Blackhorn also says when a monster would be special summoned. And if you look at the most updated text of Thunder King Ryo says when exactly one monster, which is different than from when this just says when a monster. And even though it doesn't specify plural, by them not saying when exactly one, they're basically saying that it couldn't be more than one, because the Blackhorn ruling, even with its most current text, doesn't say more. It doesn't specify plural, but it still negates all.
Okay, so Blackhorn does work exactly like this. It appears it's worded the same way, so we're going to assume it works the same way. So you can go ahead and negate Pendulum Summons of Cliffforts, and that just shuts them down. Levier is a great card because you can make it with 2 of your Tamers, and then bring back Spiritual Beast or Tamer, or whichever you need. Has a lot of synergy with the deck because you like banishing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. The deck likes to interrupt your opponent's plays with their traps, like such as Steeds, Fiendish Chain, and then it also can use these to keep your monsters alive, and that allows you to keep your consistency high. Like, one of the best things you want to do is you want to try as much as possible to normal summon this guy and keep using his effect and protecting him with your traps, and then just go plus each turn off of his effect. But we'll get into a lot of the combos later. I think that's probably going to be the next thing we're going to be doing. There's nothing too major we have to talk about besides that, I think. So, combos will be coming next, and thank you guys for watching, and see you later.